Hi everybody! So I'm going to share with you guys how I like to dehydrate my fruits and vegetables without a dehydrator. I don't have a dehydrator and I don't plan on getting one. I'm not a fan of the dehydrator. For me, if I'm going to dehydrate my fruits and vegetables, I would like to do it as natural as possible. And so I like to just let them air dry. Just let them air dry. So, because some of you guys have asked and actually requested that I kind of do a video on this because I talked about it, or I mentioned it in a couple of my previous videos and stuff, and so you guys would actually like to see it. So I'm going to share it with you guys right now. But first of all, we're just going to do bananas and apples right now. But because the fruits that I have that I've planned on doing this video several times for the past couple of months, and I just can't keep the fruit on my counter long enough. I eat it before I can actually even do the video for you guys. So I'm like, okay, Stace, we need to do this now. Now is the time. So we're doing it right now, okay guys? With the grapes, you just let your grapes sit out on the countertop. It usually takes a long time for me, but I know a lot of you guys who are in warm climates, you can just set them out in the sunshine and they will turn into little raisins a lot faster. But I'm in Alaska where the sun don't shine for most of the year, okay, during the winter time, because it's basically winter mode up here for most of the year. So besides the point, that's a whole other topic, okay? Let's not go there. But you can see they're starting to turn kind of wrinkly, and they get sweeter that way, so they're naturally turning into little raisins. So it takes quite a while for them to do that, but like I mentioned, but nonetheless, they're starting to turn into little raisins there. Awesome. So I also like to use dry out pears, Bosc pears. Oh, dried pears are absolutely amazing. There is just something about it that when the pear dries out, or not completely dried out, but it tastes really good that way. And so I don't have no pears. I couldn't keep them on my countertop long enough for you guys for this, but that's another fruit that I like to kind of let it air dry for a little bit too. And that's one thing when I dehydrate my fruits and my fruits here, they don't dry out or completely to where like they're rock hard or completely void of water. I like to let them dry out enough to where they're still soft, but they get sort of like this sweet, sort of like a frosting like texture, dried out texture on the outside. And that's how I like to have my dehydrated fruit that I purposely, I guess you could say, deliberately dehydrate on my countertop and everything. But I don't like to let them go so dried out to where there's no more water in them, you know, to where they're still kind of moist. That's how I like them. The apples I actually like to use when I dehydrate them myself is I like to use Fuji apples, but I have some pink ladies that have to be eaten up, so I'm choosing to naturally dehydrate some pink lady apples. So what I like to do is just thinly slice them, like really thin, so like that. Hopefully the lighting's okay there, guys, but yeah, so they're like little apple chips like that. And then I have, this is parchment or wax paper. It came from my 7 Hot Dates order when in September, when 7 Hot Dates becomes available. The last year they used this paper, so I'm like, oh, that's perfect for dehydrating my own fruits there, instead of using the plastic top lids that I always did. So that's what we're using this time. And I just set them on top. And a lot of people, they ask me if about lemon juice, about browning and everything. The browning doesn't bother me. I find it doesn't bother me at all, the browning of it. So I don't coat it in lemon or lime juice at all. I think that actually changes the flavor, and I don't want that. And so I just leave it off, and it doesn't turn extremely brown or anything. But by the next couple of days, it's just fine. It's just fine. Okay, you guys, so I got my apple all cut up, and each slice I just cut them in half. Also here, if you guys can see, my lighting is so bad, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, please forgive me. I am no professional at this YouTubey stuff at all, but it's so fun to share for sure. But that's what I got, is I got one apple cut up there, and it's just cut up, sitting there, ready to air dry there. And now the bananas, you guys, but dried bananas, you guys know, there's raw vegan cinnamon rolls out there that I have yet to make, but you most certainly can do it without a dehydrator for sure. And so my bananas, it turns it into like a doughy donut almost. It's so good. Dried bananas are very, very good. And so I like to, of course, let the banana ripen completely. First, like to cut it in half, and then just make thin slices and just set it on the paper. So we got thin slices like that. Just like that. And and again, I don't coat these with lemon juice or anything. Just cut them and let them sit there and air dry. Alrighty guys, we got our fruit air drying now. So this is just a sample. It's just one banana and then one apple. So that's how much we got air drying. So we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Okay guys, so it's the next day and it's the morning. So this is what they look like. No lemon juice on them at all. But here's the apple chips. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip them over so the other side can dry out for the second day. But you can see how they're turning into little apple chips. So those are the apples, but like I said, I'll flip those over. But then here's the bananas. Now these are actually, I like eating them like the next day. They are like so good. They reminisce a donut so closely. But what I'll do here is I'll actually flip them over and let the other side dry out for today. And actually by tomorrow they'd be really good, but most times they don't make it the second day because they're so darn good just the next day after I dry them out, after I cut them. So since it's just the next day with the bananas, this is literally the donut stage, and usually, like I mentioned, they don't last another day because they're so good at this stage. But this is where you can make those raw vegan cinnamon rolls. You can make your cinnamon date paste, and then these bananas, you can see that you can actually roll them up into little cinnamon rolls, and then you can make your coconut cream, and you can make your little cinnamon rolls. But the banana is in a stage where it's soft and donut-y like, you know, and it's so delicious in this stage. But yeah, that's what you can do. And I mean, most certainly can cut your bananas in longer strips, of course, but it's awesome because you can just roll them on up into little cinnamon rolls. Okay guys, this is just, I can't wait any longer. That's what happens with the bananas. Like the next day, like a day and a half, the bananas, they just turn absolutely delectable. It's like eating a donut. It's got that sweet coating on the outside, but yet it's still soft. Not super soft like a banana, but soft and kind of doughy like a donut on the inside. And it's not completely dried out. And it changes the flavor a little bit. So good. It'd be super good with my Krispy Kreme donut cream recipe, you guys. It's in my Make It Raw recipes playlist if you want to check that out. It's a super good creamy shaky shake, but you can also make it into a thick cream. And you know what, these Oh my gosh, I just had an idea. These, oh, I could make my own raw vegan donut. Wow. So I cut up my last 3 bananas because that got me in the mood for drying my own bananas now. So I'm happy I did this video because it got me started on doing another round. Awesome. So that's what I got there, guys. I just did my last 3 bananas, and these are the apple chips. They're actually, they are ready. So it's usually just by the next day, things are pretty well done, or the next day and a half, or 2 days there. And as you can see, the browning isn't bad at all. It's not bad at all. Still slightly moist, which is perfect for me anyways. And you're on apple chips. Awesome. So remember to love being raw there, guys. Put a big old smile on your face today. I hope I did that for you guys. And excuse me, I'll see you guys next video, all right? Bye, guys.